All right, what's up, guys? What's up? What's up? For those of you tuning in on YouTube, always remember our disclaimer. Remember that day trading is, of course, risky business. It looks like we had a pretty good stock in KLTO, although it's a little cheaper. Not really looking to trade sub $1 here in pre-market, but this one does look pretty good. I'm gonna write up the watch list here. For those of you in the chat room, I'll be on my RT3 account. KLTO. SVRE is pulling back, but was up there a little bit. Good morning to Jimmy there in the chat. Jimmy, any pre-market trades today for you? KNW, I haven't looked at, but this one I believe is continuation. Wow. So this was at 4:45 a.m. Massive move. All the way to 5. Massive. And I think those four, we have TPST, which I can also take a look at here. Okay, this one doesn't look that good. Lighter volume. Okay, there's the watch list in the chat as well as in the live stream. Okay, is anything looking good for a couple of trades? So I was supposed to start early today, but I had an issue. Apparently, my alarms were turned off. So instead of being up at 6 a.m., I was up at 7 a.m. I woke up at 7 a.m. like the natural body clock. And it's like that's when I should be starting the live stream. So I'm like, okay, I'll just take it easy and then come in a little early. Um, so here we are at 8:45, 8:50 time frame here. If something doesn't move up, I have my small size here ready to go. Um, but it looks like the best opportunity might have been KNW between 4:45 and 5:30. Now, this cheaper one in KLTO did do pretty well, I will say. So the pre-market traders are probably looking all right. The people who are here every day. I'm gonna get a couple of trend lines going. KNW. Overnight you just never know which one will take off, right? I mean, the good thing about this stock is that it did hold up going into the close, right? We had a massive move pre-market on Friday. We got up to 150, then the stock sold off. We're back down 76 cents. But around 3 p.m. into power hour, curled up to 167. So, coming into the close, holding up, it's never guaranteed because, we've seen stock do this and then it's also right back down the next day. But this one happened to hold up and, here we are. For anybody who might have did a swing trade, it's going to pay off very well. CTOR, it's at 167. I got to pull these stocks up a little quicker. Perhaps we can take a trade here if it ends up holding up. And my platform is doing this nonsense. Sometimes when I log into DAS, it just doesn't fire off my hotkey until I sign out and sign back in, which I did already after reconnecting my account. But it always says to select an account, which, it doesn't make sense because there's only one account that's linked to my DAS platform. I'm going to go to white screen and I'll be back. I'll be back in a flash. And there's probably a more simple fix. There's probably a more simple fix for that. But for now, that's what we find to work to help fix the issue. I'm going to just throw out a trade here just to see. Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure why that happens, but okay, we're good to go. We might have missed a small dip in there, but that's okay. I'm watching the lows here. Okay, there's some new lows cutting it. It's coming down a bit. 5 minute candle under some stress here with that selling pressure. As we know, not all of them will hold up, and that's fine here in pre-market. Okay, anyhow, it's coming back to my trend lines on the others. So I think we had KNW. KNW. And that trade right there was looking for a reclaim back over 50. Tight stop at the loaded candle. It's back down right away. Yeah, this would have been a nice swing trade here, but again, you definitely have to be careful because sometimes they'll, despite holding up into the close, they can still sell off. But anyhow, we got all the way up to 5, and lows of our current pullback around $3. As of recent, we've pushed up over the VWAP, which is good, and 340s. So this bear flag, I think, will be pretty interesting coming into the open. Something that I've noticed that I need to do a better job of is to be a little bit more patient when stocks are pulling back, and paying more attention to position myself to capture a move back up. I think that's been the death of us here in the last few weeks, especially because we're so used to focusing on an uptrend when things are hot. And in these markets like this, it's rare to really see a good uptrend. And, that when I'm saying that, I'm referring to a stock like KNW around 4 a.m., right? Like a prolonged, sustained uptrend, consecutive green candles, pullbacks holding up. We're not really seeing that into the open as much, but we're getting a shorter uptrend off of red to greens. And if I'm looking at a different stock, I'm trying to look for a stock that's already uptrending. I'm not going to get that uptrend, whether it's a candle, two or three, off of a bounce, So I think for me, that's the key here this week, is to be a little bit more patient on stocks pulling back, especially if it's like big flush outs, to not be discouraged and look away at something else. but to wait and watch. Because if I wait and watch, I'll see an entry, right? That's usually what'll happen. There'll be an entry at some point to be in, whether to scalp or to hold a little longer. So KNW on the daily chart. Last move we had that was pretty significant was going back to March 5th, high of 947. Massive topping wick. So there's a little bit of gap to fill, and then the 200 EMA though is before that, so it's at 712 on the daily. So no major resistance in that range until 712. We're currently 350. We had a high of 5. For KNW, which is currently up 120%. So not bad. Coming over to the penny stock, KLTO. Guys, once we start to see more uptrends, I'm definitely looking forward to trading the lows more here this week. But when we start to see more uptrends, I will be ready to go. I will be ready to. Right now, I feel like a soldier that's just on the sidelines. But with that being said, there's still things to do now to be green and make good money. But boy, do I love those uptrends. Oh, so we got 67.81 pre-market high. By the way, if you're tuning in on YouTube, be sure to hit the thumbs up. Pretty sure some of you guys might have already locked in a nice day. If you're here for the 4 a.m. move on KNW and then KLTO, a little cheaper, but also pushed up. I don't know. I think for the platforms I'm using, the penny stock's actually a little bit more tough to trade in pre-market. Maybe I need a different set of hotkeys for penny stocks. Maybe that's what it probably is, but I've had issues with fills, even with just pure limit orders. Like at certain price points, it's skipping over my orders. So I'm like, this can't work. And that's for the hyper scalps. Maybe holding a little longer, trying to give the stocks a chance in certain areas is a little different. So what I'm thinking is probably more in line for the cheaper stocks. Are any of you guys hyper scalping these cheaper ones? For those of you on the YouTube stream, Jack, I'm more of a hot chocolate and tea kind of guy. Had coffee once and never had it again. A girl in my high school, I told her I never had coffee, and her mind was blown. So the next day, she made it her mission. Shout out to John Mulette was her name. she just the next day brought some coffee. I mean, it wasn't bad per se, but it's just not my style. But it's not a bad taste. I can see why people like it, and then it wakes you up a little bit with the sugar, the caffeine. Okay, so KLTO, the daily chart here. Yeah, I don't usually call people's names, so shout out to her. Because that was such a effort, to just say, hey, tomorrow I'm gonna lock this in. So KLTO on the daily chart is at 94.72. We got a couple of topping wicks where it's 60 cents. We're above 56, which was our last topping wick, which is not bad. So going back to November of last year, we had high points of 69. And then January, we had a high point of 94. 2 topping wicks. Stock moved up and sold off. $94. These are levels sometimes short sells will keep an eye on to potentially short against. Yeah, there's a ton of topping wicks actually. I'm also seeing here 80 cents. This one could be at the end of its lifespan, is what I'm thinking. And then also 99. Although this was a better green candle, we closed strong on this particular day here. That's on September 17th of last year. Yeah, so KLTO, we'll see. Does it have more left in the tank? That's the key here. Classic walk-off screen. Oh, come on, don't do that to me. No wonder pre-market is cold. RT is trading. It's actually funny. One of the other admins and moderators here, Mentor, Triad was making that joke last week, I think on Wednesday or Thursday. He's like, man, the moment RT started looking at pre-market, it fell off a cliff. But of course, when you have that like hot momentum, it's not gonna last like every single day. I mean, it can go for like a month or two, but I think we had a really really hot pre-market for about a week and a half, and then it's still good, just not as hot. SNPX. I gotta also get into the habit of making sure to pull up the stocks right away. That one did hit for about a minute there. I don't know how a guy like Ross will have time to check the news to see if he wants to then go in because they can be up so quickly. Can we hold this previous low here? It's actually kind of low too. Let's see. There's a big bid that came in there, walking up the ladder actually. See, the only reason I sold that position, because when I double checked my low, I saw a different number, which wasn't good. So I saw 30 initially. I looked back, I thought I saw 20, like low 20s. It's the double bottom. So that's a bit of a mistake on my side. A bit of a mistake on my side right there. Pre-market definitely, I mean, even into the open these days, I don't think we see as much of the baby pullbacks as much as the micros. So once you have that nice entry, it's important to be able to give it a chance. It's definitely finding support in there. So there's a new high. Actually, no, the high was 40. 32. Like this one is strong here. It's actually holding up. And there's a new high. 86. 90 for the new high. It's a high pullback so far. The bounce is stalling out quickly. So I'm not going to get filled my entire position there. Yeah, that bounce was stalling out rather quickly. And as usual, you got to be in quickly. Quickly. Let's see. This setup looks pretty good. Let's see how it does here over the next maybe 50 seconds to 2 minutes. Time. There's good time. We look good on time. So I'll just wait here and see you to stop. We're seeing resistance is 70 again. Okay. I'll take it. I'll take the couple cents. If it gets through, I can get back in. Although a little bit more risky entry. It's still looking like it's having trouble. 70. It's so crazy how like that, like this is like such I really should be sizing up here massively, but like the price action there is so clean. Just so clean. Like the price action just, it seems like effortless. The price action seems effortless right there. It's having some trouble here, so keeping a close eye. The days will come soon. But I have to get to putting size on these types of stocks like this one. Can we be in like a couple thousand shares there? It's having some trouble here. So the 5 minute pullback is perhaps failing. The stock still looks decent, but might need some time to consolidate at a new low. 70 is too much resistance. And looks like I had a blue trend line there, so there might have been a prior level. Let's see if it still matches up. I don't think so, though. We've had a split or two. So that trend line is not like a random trend line. ALAR. So you can see in pre-market, the high of day scanner is what really shines. Everything else is just, you know, I guess if it's gapped up early enough, it makes sense too. ALAR, lighter volume. So SNPX, are we going to see a new low somewhere here, potentially base out, or are we going to Christmas tree? It's looking like it might Christmas tree. That's a pretty brutal 5-minute candle there. So into the open in this situation right here, we're still somewhat seeing this setup, right? But what's happening is like on this after this first red candle, I mean even this is not really great because it didn't really hold up for too long. We want to see this hold and continue for like the next leg of the move, which would then be at like 550. But into the open, this at least this gradually came down, right? Like we saw 30, 28, 25, 20, 16, whatever. In the open, this would have been from like 50, 45 straight down to like 508. And it's like, bro, like, why are we evaporating so bad? You know? So there's just a lot of like weaker sentiment there. Yeah. The stocks just feel like they're moving a little bit more freely. And I wouldn't use the word crowded after the open. I don't think that it's crowded. It's just like a weaker sentiment. We need the algos back at our side, giving us that boost. We need stocks. We need more stocks where there's like institutional buying or hedge fund buying to just, over a period of time so that we trend from 350 up to $9. Okay, so time it's 9:12. We got, a couple minutes before the open here. I did write up the watch list earlier. There are some other stocks pushing up though. Triad Trading is in the building. Guys, we have over 200 people here. Be sure to hit that thumbs up. And also, if you're a new viewer, consider subscribing to the channel. It seems like the key pre-market, though, is just really getting that stock that is holding up, because I did experience some others where in the first green candle or two, you do end up coming right back down. But when something starts to hold, it seems like the support levels are, doing its thing. And as long as we're quick to, get out if it does break down and keep the stop tight, we can see that follow through. And very important to not overtrade. Even if it does continue to consolidate, we got to buy the proper entries and not chase the move, because then we can end up, getting caught. Stocks definitely can still drop quickly in pre-market too. Oh man. The dashing trader saying to save him a spot. I actually have the YouTube stream pulled up today. So I'm running like a split screen because my thing is a little messed up in the chat room. So, oh man. Jeez. Someone is saying as soon as Raw sells, then the stock will dump. I don't know, man. Maybe, maybe not. I do think if Ross is to be trading by himself, like without an audience, like he'll still make money because he just knows how to trade. People say certain things. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Like I have an audience, right? It's like there's 600 people here. But from what I can see from the audience, like even when we're doing like really well, like nice weeks, nice months, it seems like from the 600 people, there's still people who would never trade the stocks that I'm trading, or even if they are trading the same stocks, they're looking at different setups, different hold times. People aren't really just changing everything they know because, at least I wouldn't. I think that would be pretty like wild to do, especially with the lag and latency and how quick the trades are. Recipe for disaster. So it's why even with our students, they don't need to listen to me at this point as they trade because they've went through the curriculum and they understand what they're already looking for. They understand what I'm looking for, right? So they don't need to hear me necessarily, right? It's a strategy. So teaching someone how to fish rather than like trying to like copy trade, which is recipe for disaster. So I think KNW, KLTO, and perhaps maybe ELAB or one of the other ones can be a third string stock here. KLTO definitely still holding up very well. Triad, what's up? You also got the Mighty firing it up. Not a bad move there for KLTO to 74 on that breakout. We got about, what was that, 14 minutes for the open. I can pull this one up over here. KLTO. So it's coming into this area where we had a lot of topping wicks. Will it be able to sustain its move here? Pretty strong chart. Can pull up the 10-second here as well. From 63 to 75. Wow, that was actually pretty good. Looking at it in the 10-second. Of course, with the 1 minute candlestick, you kind of think the move took that entire move to happen, but it happened over 20 seconds, really. I'm not trading this one because my hotkeys, I find like I'm just not, it's not worth it for the stocks below $1 during pre-market. At the open, we'll go for it, of course. So I think these are the top two: KNW, KLTO, and all the others will kind of just see as the day goes on if they do end up curling up or not. Yeah, everything else is a little more on the softer side. 12 minutes to the open. 12 minutes. Don't forget, for those of you tuning in on the YouTube platform, to hit that thumbs up. If you're a new viewer, consider subscribing to the channel. Chan Z, long time no see, man. What's up? What's up? Patrick Fox in the building. Ronald R, what's up? Julian, what's up? Does I'm guessing does das is what you were meant to say. Give you faster executions like direct access broker. It doesn't. However, it is linked to our Thinkorswim platform, and so it's actually adding almost like a middleman. I don't know how much, because it comes down to like milliseconds. I don't know if it's faster or slower. I would like to think it wouldn't be faster than just executing through Thinkorswim. I think it's probably like a millisecond slower, if anything. since it's including more to get the same, uh, you know, order through, including an extra person, an extra platform. But I'm not sure, I'm not sure how the back end looks, in because I'm pretty sure most of the Schwab, like Thinkorswim, Ameritrade orders will go, I think, to the Citadel, which is this massive firm in Chicago, however you say it, right? I'm not sure how the back end is set up for Schwab and the DAS trading software and their company. And they deal the Citadel. They deal with like order flow and that type of stuff. Like they're basically market maker. It's also why sometimes you can be trading a particular symbol. Like there've been days where we've had what the customer service would describe as signal issues between them and some other market makers. And so some particular stocks could have a lag where like your order is just sitting open for hours. We've had this happen before. But if you trade another stock, it's perfectly fine, right? So I guess it depends on, what tickers that particular market maker might have under their belt. The first pullback here holding up. We got 8 minutes to the opening bell. 8 minutes. 8 minutes to the opening bell. I can post the watch list again here in case for the people now tuning in. In the chat room, you can always find the watch list in the alert section as well. Primarily KLTO and KNW are the top two. Yeah, I put ELAB on the list because I came in early, and at that time ELAB was holding up. Now ELAB is in the backwoods. It's lost in the wilderness. Yeah, everything looks good. KNW is a little bit more at rest. We'll see if more volume gets into the open. I think right now KLTO is a little bit hotter. We're seeing more volume. Our last 5 minute candle, 17 million shares. So definitely into the open. I'll be watching this one. It's more active. Again, we're heading into an area where we have a ton of prior topping wicks. On prior days, we moved up into this range, sold off. For example, 69 cents, 80 cents, and so forth. So, if we can continue this move to one and then break of one would be really awesome. Seven minutes. The last pullback there held up nicely. I mean, it's a massive move, really. 65 back to 70. Good to dial in the range here early. If it goes over 73 here, it's pretty strong. If it does this move right away. So coming into the open, we might see it's possible it could keep going right away. We got to be prepared in case it is strong immediately for an opening surge. I'm gonna pull up the 10-second here again. I can't remember my Thinkorswim hotkeys. Okay, I think, okay, that's what it is. All right, nice, nice. Perhaps a little less size than this, though. As you guys know, I've been using smaller size. I'll continue to use a little smaller size. If we do have a day where the stock is supernova, parabolic, just, going from like 3 to 10, 3 to 20, whatever, on that day, I will size up because it'll be too much of a missed opportunity. A drawdown doesn't necessarily mean that we shelter ourselves from every risk, every and all types of risk, right? It's more so to just, reduce the losses, stop the bleeding, you know, get into a good flow, good rhythm, boost the confidence. And then the moment that something is good, that it's really just holding up and it's just going, you gotta go for it. If we don't one day return to like our usual size, our normal size, the drawdown could potentially last forever. Or let's just say it could take really long, right? So we do have to, eventually get back to our normal size. Something that, I also don't like if like this platform is a little slower at times is the partial fills. It can be really frustrating at times. So you got to have your hotkeys also set up to sell everything in your position so that you don't really get, caught with too much slippage. Don't forget to turn on your screen recording. I think it'll be a great day today. So let's be sharp, let's be quick, let's be disciplined. Let's trade all the patterns and setups that we know and love. Another day to improve, another day to be better, another day to learn from our mistakes of the past to have that more clean, consistent road ahead. The more consistent outcome. So, Patrick, Fox, and Brad, and those of you tuning in on the YouTube side, I see you guys. Of course, the chat room is always rocking. Got Rob in the building. And shout out to Odin, by the way, who's also been doing really well. Shout out to you. Bob Ross. A couple of you guys are still seeing some nice days. So KLTO and KNW looking good. Let's see what we get here. It's having some trouble. Not the cleanest. Okay, there it is. It is gonna go. That was a fight. That was a bit of a fight to get through 75 right there. I mean, we had a couple of sellers. It didn't really hold up the level right away. It's, kind of having some stress here. Yeah, that opening surge was definitely possible. But it's a little short-lived. Oh, it's just gonna go. There was a bid there, 83, 82. A little bit of chasing required there in that last push. So the way how it's moving, it's possible we can get up to 1 eventually. It's extremely strong here. Oh, I'm not getting the best fills here. This is gonna be my last attempt. If not, it might be coming down here for that bigger drop. Yeah. The other one is moving. The thing is that the front side move is that one. So, over 75, for example, right? That type of boost right there, you can't afford to fumble it. Over 75, we saw like 82, relatively quick. We'll see if it does give the red to green in another minute or two. KNW is on a red to green, by the way. Even KNW pullback is pretty brutal from 55 to 20. So this is where we can see the potential red to green here. So I'm going to come back. KNW is still holding up. We'll see. But KLTO here. I'm going to watch the current range. ELAB also hitting the scan. They're seeing new lows. KNW back over 50. Okay, it's opening up a little more. I was just about to say it's feeling a little heavy trying to go up, but it's going to give a push. KLTO having trouble. KNW, watching and waiting. Big levels here. If not, we'll see a bigger 5-minute pullback. It's inching down. 45, 45, 45. One last attempt. 44, 45. We did get a good bounce out of KLTO eventually down there. Right now, I'm just waiting to see how well it'll hold up here. If we can sustain the 5-minute red candle and then curl back to green here over the next few minutes. Scans are still going crazy. That's not what we want to see right there. Not as brutal drop. The low right there is 12. Waiting on the next setup, the next opportunity, the next stock. We did have RDW and a couple others. CTXR. That was a pretty brutal drop right there just now. How's CTXR doing? Yeah, I was only holding like a really small part of that position too, so on the sidelines waiting for something to hit the scans or a red to green. Elab, I don't know. It's perking up a little bit, but does it have what it takes? CTXR. CTXR is kind of risky. It's kind of thin for this price range. Elab is holding up a little bit. Can we see something more? Come on down. The price is right. Well, it is coming down a little too much here. We're not seeing anything holding up. Watching for the previous highs there. So, I mentioned this in pre-market, right? We're not really seeing anything coming down also gradually, right? NA and a couple others are hitting too. CTXR a little bit more, we'll see. I think there's a little bit more risk there, perhaps. What is that? Not seeing any other call outs from the chat either, so just waiting. Our candle on the 5 is still holding up. Well, definitely a bigger drop there. How's KILO? Are we seeing any red to greens there? Or KLT? Oh, and we are definitely seeing a red to green there. Oh, I took too long, man. Damn. Look at that in one candle. Jeez. My spider sense is a little late to pull this one up. Yeah, I'm rotating through all the stocks there. I'm just missed it. Just missed it. Again, kind of mentioned that in pre-market as well, right? A lot of these stocks are curling up from those lows, and that's it for the uptrend pretty much. Time to go short right here and watch the move down. And what a move too. Definitely don't expect to see that from the 5 minute candle making the new high down there though. Man, that is insane. H6. Again, maybe that's backside for the next pullback again. I don't know. We haven't seen these keep going, so that might be it. Yeah, you don't really expect the 5 minute candle to make the new high to be that aggressive down there. Maybe like a couple cents, 3, 4 cents. Yeah, that is insane. I get caught there. Dip, dip, dippity dip. No dip. The halt is at 103. Sellers at 1. Some are getting bought up. Halted up. That dip at 90. That dip at 90. Let's see. I'm looking back at the log here. The resumption is 3 minutes to 25 seconds. KNW, we didn't end up getting much. It is showing a lower resumption by like a couple cents. It's showing a lower resumption. Classy beam. Looks like he's holding into the halt up. I don't know, man. I sold into halt. It's been a long time since I really held into a halt. It's showing 101 resumption. It went through all those trend lines, man. So yeah, I mean it's hard to say. It's given consecutive green candles. You got to expect a pullback at some point. So if there's no clean and obvious dip and rip, we'll see how it goes. But hopefully we can see a nice sweet dip and rip here. And that could be really good. The dip and rip. The dip and the moon. 1 minute, 15 seconds. Don't forget if you're watching on YouTube, we have over 740 people. Be sure to hit that thumbs up, which means we got a couple of newer faces here. Hit that thumbs up. 101 resumption from the depend. It shows on level 2. Level 2, a DAS trader and other platforms. Some other level 2s will have as well. I see someone saying that they wouldn't learn from me. You got to check the students, bro. There's students making more than me, bro. 50K months, 100K months. Check out the chat room. You got to get with the program. There's also other mentors here too. 10 seconds. Showing 101 resumption. It could flush out below the whole dollar. We'll see. Tighter stops, of course, as usual. No insta buy for me waiting. Over one or not instant. And there is some lag getting out. So we might flush out here first. It's possible. What's going to be the low? We got 9.3 so far. All right, I'm going to wait. Still a little indecisive. A little bit of selling there. And I needed to chase that to get back in. 14 is the halt up. We never made a new low after that first low there. Some of that selling a bit of a bluff. Do we need more of a pullback? Time? There's about a minute left. This is where it could get a little dicey here. I'm only interested in one trade towards the lows. If I don't see it, I'm not in. The new 5 minute candle is a couple of minutes out. And it looks like it's struggling a little bit here. I'll keep an eye on the high side of the range. I don't think anything else is moving. I'd have to double check. So far, we're consolidating here at these lows. The halt down is at 83 if it happens here. Dang, that's a terrible fill. So not much into that new 5 minute candle there. It's in a tight range. We're of course pretty high up, so if it does break down on the range, the halt down is 81 if it flushes out all the way. I'm looking at some of the other ones. Everything else is well, SNPX actually is holding up. SNPX is holding up, fighting. The pre-market high is at 490. KLTO might come down. It's our third red candle here on the 5. Might come down. So many of those moves up, I'm out like a second early. Some others, I needed to chase a little bit more aggressively. In hindsight, of course, you can all, hindsight, right? Holding longer from the pullbacks did result into some follow through, which I was pretty skeptical of the stock going up more because we haven't really seen too much of that. But after the first push, it held up. Are we coming down? Not held. SNPX. Bro, why? Well, I don't understand why we're seeing so much selling when there's like green hitting the tape. It's just not making any sense. 45, 46. LTO coming back up and already gave an early pullback. I think so far so good into this new candle. A little bit of consolidation. It hasn't really broken down below this level here yet, which is good. If it does, the quick reclaims would be nice to see. But why almost every time the volume here coming in a second or two late. Bro, it's like the timing on all my quick scalps are like off by a second, like every single one. I'm in, the volume that's not there, I'm back out, then the volume comes. I've missed like 7 or 8 like solid like 5, 6 cent trades by like a second. The halt up is at 22. It seems like it's kind of stuck here with all the thickness. So there's 22. Not showing a lot of big bids. Halt's now 24. False halts. It's trying to halt up again. 27. SNPX did give a good push, but looks like it's back down. KLTO is still trying to get halted up here now at 30. The bids are smaller though, so it's false halting and then chasing down the level. Bro, I can't believe every trade is like same thing from Friday, man. Almost like every trade is like 1 second off, 1 second off. Also, we're still not seeing when there's a move, there seems like there's no baby pullbacks. So taking the quick pop, maybe not worth it. Taking a quick pop, not worth it. Gotta just give it that extra 5 seconds to get the bigger move. It does seem pretty extended, but the dips are still holding up. 34 is the halt up. Now 36. I don't know, man. I think what I'm thinking is that in this particular area right here, right now, this is where I'd already want to be sitting nicely green and just easing off of this extension. Like we're so high up here. The likelihood of seeing the bigger flushes are a little higher now from the move over one. I think, you know, ideally I'd want to be nicely green and just like, hey, easing off, like really small size. Anything here should be the cherry on top of the cake. Well, I'm red $400 in the stock. Kind of need to just stay on the sidelines here. So about 7 or 8 trades, I'm kind of like a second off on the timing. And a lot of those areas were like 3 5 cent moves, 7 cent moves. You capture at least half of those. The day is a solid day. SNPX sold off. Not sure if that one will rebound, but it did give a good move. It's above the view up still. There's always a chance later tries. The thing is that I mean I don't know how strong this will be. Are we done here at 130s, or can we see like 180s, 150s? So that's kind of sometimes the challenge. But again, if you're capitalizing so far, sizing down is what will give you a good chance to just keep your foot on the gas, let's say. Because sometimes you just never know. Maybe it does go 150, 160. Especially if we don't double top in an area like this. Can it push through? There's a lot of buying, but it's not quite ripping through. 36. The halt is at 42. The float on this stock has to be high, a little higher too. Definitely liquid. It's liquid, but it's also thick because It's thick, so that I guess let's put it the other way around. It's thick, so that makes it liquid. You can probably mark it out like 30,000 size, no problem. It hasn't really shown any signs of weakness just yet. This candle still has a minute. Bro, how the heck do I miss every move? Like this just doesn't even make any sense. You're telling me I didn't get one move out of this whole thing. This thing is up 600%. Some areas I did need to hold a little longer, but again, typically we're seeing a lot of like baby pullbacks. Like we went from 101 just now to like 120 in like one move, which is usually not the case, right? I mean, we'll see a breakout every now and again, but like a real breakout like that. But a lot of the times you're seeing, like 109, then you kind of pull back a little bit, and it's more like a volatile move up rather than just like one thing. Can we hold and continue? It still hasn't shown any signs of like real weakness yet. We had that red 5 minute candle, but still fighting. There's a halt at 49. It's now at 51. We'll probably need to see some bigger bids if it's to get locked in. It might. There's some bigger bids coming in, 200,000 there. A couple of other 120,000s. So it's halted up 152 at 5 minutes to go. Showing sideways so far. El Pastor in the depths. It's a crime. It's a crime to not be up nicely on a stock like this. It's up 600%. 600%. It is good though. It's good in general, and hopefully, I don't know how people would rate this stock. We did have SBET and another one a while back, but this is good. This is good overall, even if I'm not capturing here. Ay, ay, ay. Hopefully, we can see more of a spark with other stocks throughout the week after this nice move here. We didn't get dominated by short sellers early, because honestly, after this first move, I was thinking like that was it, But then we did hold up and push again. I missed this push, but this one, we were here. We didn't do well. We came back somewhere here for the red to green. It's 1 minute, 50 seconds. The stock is extremely liquid. Extremely liquid. Under normal circumstances, if I'm doing well, trading well, not in any drawdown, like up on the day, honestly, I probably would have, I wouldn't want to like give back everything I would have made in like one trade, but depending on how much I would have been up, I would have wanted to actually, put forward some size here still, because it still isn't showing any signs of weakness. And again, sometimes these are the stocks that end up going all the way to $2, 230, right? Maybe 190 before we really start to actually hit the backside. So, still gonna stick to the smaller size and just, take it easy here. 5,000 shares. Can I make 10 cents out of the different rip? That'll at least put us to flat. Gotta be careful though, just in case this happens to be high of day, which is always a risk of the extended stocks. Whilst we could keep going, where we are now could also be like the last highest point. It's showing sideways, and there's a minute 15 seconds. Sideways resumption, 151. Man, I've never been in such a slump like this though, where even on a stock going up, I'm not like capturing the move. Like, what is this? And like I said, a lot of those trades though came down to like seconds. Like I'm in, and then the volume is just nowhere to be seen. I'm like, okay, I'll get back out and wait again. Then the move happens. Some other moves. I am in. I'm taking the first quick pop. I'm out for a couple cents, but then another 3 to 5 seconds, we actually open up for like a 10-cent move, right? But there's no sort of like baby pullbacks in there. Those allow to get back, allow me to get back in if we continuously, are pushing up. So a lot of timing issues. 4 seconds. Here we go. 151. Not insta buying. Taking 42. Over 50 is not instant. It could sell off. Can we see over 50? It should go to the halt up here. All right, I'll take 54. The halt up is at 64. See, and similar to this right here, it is going to go to 64, right? So in there, we kind of see some selling. It stalls out a bit. I'm out too early. And there's no chance for me to get back in right there unless I chased like 57, which is, just a little aggressive. 64 is the halt up. Man. The stocks feels like a boxing match here for me when in the past it would just feel like walking walking through a park, right? As funny as that sounds. But typically, so that selling came in at like 55 right there. Like people are taking profits, it seemed like. So normally what would see right there is like some sort of a drop. Maybe back down to 48, 47, maybe it holds 50, or even if it's a couple cents. That went to 54 and then 50, 57, 58, 60. And so it's a little difficult to get back in, right? And maybe it's a mindset thing too, because I guess if I'm a little quicker on the feet, I could be thinking, okay, we didn't really pull back there. I'm going to try again over 55 and then be back in 55, 56. So maybe I'm not, as quick as I need to be in those situations. That's maybe part of it too. But it's halted down here, and it's still not 100% to say it's finished, because we could easily recover out of this dip. But definitely, again, if I'm doing really nice on the day, areas like this, there's no need to risk it, right? I'm just going to size down, take it slow. And so despite not doing well on the stock, I'm going to still keep that same mindset, which is to size down, take it slow, and not try to be a hero when we're already up 700%. Like we should have already, if you did well, that's great. If you didn't do well, it's not a time to try to be a hero here at the very end of it, because you can get caught with a massive flush. And then what's like a flat day or a red day can become a max loss day. Oh man. This should be like a 6-7K day, man. Like, where is this sweet green into my account? At one point, like every trade at like 90 something was like a losing trade, trying to get that move back through the level. Sometimes I do think about, holding a little bit more towards the previous lows. And then of course, it's like similar to the last stock. It just teleports down and it's like, come on. Again, the risk that I'm trying to keep is then like, it's increased significantly. And then too many quick scalps could also be bad, because then you can end up mistiming the move. It's showing 130 and it's 2 minutes 23 seconds to go. Before this update on the DAS level 2, we'd have to always keep in mind the time that the stock was halted. And then, of course, we do the math the other way around instead of just having the countdown. So we got halted at, in Eastern time here, 10:49 and 34 seconds. So you do the math, and the resumption would be at 54 and 34 seconds. Assuming it's 5 minutes. Sometimes you can get 10 minutes depending. Where's the green? Where's the sweet 5-6K to adding to my gains here? Man. Big Steve, I'm in a complete and utter funk. Man, I just can't wait to be seeing nice days again, man. It feels so good. The people who are red every day, like for years, which I've been there before, of course, like the years ago. When you get to green, man, when you start to hit those nice days, just back to back, like every day, every week, day in, day out, you start to feel liberated. You feel you feel so good, you know. Like no, it doesn't matter what goes wrong in your life, you just feel good. And when you're in a funk, you just want to punch everything. You just want to. It's like you're going mad here. Oh, come on. But of course, we know it's not the end of the world. We got to keep at it. Stay locked in. 30 seconds to resumption. I only got 1,000 shares here, really small size. Not sure what to expect. If it flushes down out of the open right away, then that can provide an entry. If it's sideways, might be a little bit more tricky here. Showing 35. Can we flush out some more? 20 is the halt down. Over 40 could be interesting too. So it's a bit of a churn here sideways. 31 by 36 or so. I think I tried on the higher side here if the volume is right. Again, it's pretty thick though, right? So it's a little tough to read the tape here. Can we see mid 30s? Again, it stalls out like that, so for me, I'll just take it flat. It's definitely a little slower, a little slower. Ay ay ay. This is like a 6K day though, like a nice sweet day on if you're capturing all those moves like precise that I would normally be using. Capturing the moves from even though I missed this earlier push for the red to green. Capturing these moves over 90 and then through one and then the halt up. I think we had a halt up here, 106. And then again right here. Man, not sure if there's anything else yet. New egg. This was a good move. This one gave a good move a while back, but today it seems like lighter volume stuff, and it's at $17. KNW, how did we do? And then also SNPX. What's the other one? I don't know if I'll touch Newegg, man. I think maybe a little too much risk on that one, being the price is so high. The volume did come in a little bit though. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. We are red on ELAB and a few others. ELAB, we got caught into a flush. We got caught into a flush on ELAB. We were actually green on it, and then it's dropped down like 50 cents. Was it this one? Yeah, I think it was. It might have been this one. Or maybe it's a different stock I'm thinking of. Anyhow, so ELAB, we got caught in this flush here. Buying the dip down at 291. We flushed out all the way to 76. And as I'm buying, the ask price was going higher, right? Like we had like 90 by 91, 91 by 92. I'm buying there as we're seeing 93, 94 coming in on the ask. And then the stock then teleports down to 76. So almost as if there's a little bit of buying and then like someone like must have sold a massive position again or something. And it's just a flush. SNPX, I think, okay, this was the one we were green on before we got caught in one of the bigger flush outs. I think it might have been this one. Yeah, I think that was here. See, typically I'm supposed to keep watching at this stock right here, but at this time I think is when KLTO was up massively on that red to green. But it's fine when the 1 minute pullback breaks down, then you can just watch the 5 minute setup, which ended up giving a quick brief consolidation here before red to green. So a bit of a reversal here, good bottoming wick. Part of the goal today was to try not to switch back and forth between too many stocks, but still kind of ended up getting caught doing it, especially seeing that massive move that we had. Is that timing correct? I don't know. Well, we did switch back to this one. So maybe 63 is the official high of day, and now we're really backside. I gotta ask Lucas if he got the short. I'll check in the chat. Nothing else really hitting the scans as of yet. And KLTO halting down. So there might be a bounce out of this resumption being that it's down so much here from 33. So from 33 to $1, no bounce. But again, when this type of move happens, you really can't be, upset about it in terms of like if you didn't capitalize, and then you can't afford to overtrade the backside because this is exactly what we would want to see every single day is that a stock in pre-market that is strong holds up its levels and then into the open can also give a good move. So historically last year, for the people who might have started trading this year or even in the last couple months, last year every day almost without fail we're seeing this type of move here out of pre-market. Even if the pre-market chart was just sideways, this would happen within the first 3 hours of the open. By the way, shout out to ZH who had I think a record week last week. Jimmy has a nice setup, man. I like the laptop on top of that monitor. It looks pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. We got some traders doing all right here today. And by the way, shout out to Shay, one of the girls here in the chat room as well, locking it in. $2 minutes to that resumption. 2 minutes. KNW is moving up a little bit. There's 28 seconds to resumption on KLTO. KNW around 43, slightly above the VWAP. It opened up 15. Interesting. That might have been the bounce. Yeah, I think that might have been the bounce. What about KNW here? It doesn't seem super active, but it's moving up a little bit. So we had this massive bear flag. We broke above the level. It would be nice if it's able to hold above the VWAP. We did get a little bit of separation there. Highs at 658. Yeah, highs at 58. Daily chart looks all right. We did have room to 7, which is the 200 EMA. Here's a little bit more of a push. Are we on to something here for a retest of the highs? There's a bid, but we're not skyrocketing though. There's definitely some buying coming into it. But we're not continuing over 75 and 80 with ease, so just waiting here. This 5-minute candle is still pretty young. The VWAP is still a little ways down there. KLTO, maybe, 120 is still holding up. The volume is still pretty low. So I just have a starter really, and I'm looking to potentially get back in more. The volume is still pretty light here. KLTO still fighting and battling, giving opportunities. So I don't want to add too aggressively too quickly here, but again, watching to see how well we do above the VWAP area. If it breaks down here, then we're kind of, just back into the bear flag territory. We're not really holding the gain, so it would probably need more time. So I'm just gonna give it a chance here. Time, it's 11:15 here. Eastern time, market time. So in a setup like this, my risk is pretty limited unless the stock just, like teleports down. That's the key here for me. If we gradually come down, it's like a tighter stop, of course. But if we're to teleport down, then there's just, not much you can do there looking for the recovery. If KLTO breaks over that 24 level, 25 level, it'd be interesting, especially if it gets over like 33, 35 area. When we first were coming down, we had that resistance out of that resumption around 35, 38. It's a 27. Does it have what it takes to keep going? KLTO. KNW also watching here above the VWAP to see. Watching. KLTO back at 22. KNW watching, waiting. Let's see how we react here. There is some good buying. I'm going to add. It's a little high add, but I'll add. Let's see if it's able to do the push here. $47, $52, $45. We still haven't seen any volume yet, any real volume that is. So still waiting. I haven't seen an excessive amount of buying or anything yet. KB, where are those bulls? Can we see a nice setup workout here? We had a little bit of resistance early there. We already broke the seller though. So just still waiting and watching. Time 22. Another 3 minutes in a candle. And this cold will not leave me alone here as usual. $22. Another 3 minutes. Will we be able to hold the VWAP flag? See a retest of any sort. KLTO doesn't look like, at least not right now, doesn't look like it'll be able to get to that retest level 35. Looks a little slow, but you never know. Sometimes you get that big volume spike. Will we see any buying, any strength? If the volume spike comes aggressive and low, I think I'd buy more. If not, I'll just take it easy. And there's a seller here too, 20,000. Again, will we see any sort of buying? I'll keep my stop tighter. We bought up the seller, but then nothing. That's like, where's the volume, man? What is that? Yeah, it's almost like the volume is like, draining out of the stock. So I'll reduce my risk. It, if it doesn't hold up 40, then yeah, that might do it there. Yeah, definitely good to come out something. Oh, will it come back here for a reclaim though? There's 44. Or is this a bluff? Okay, that might have been a bluff. So 56 was the most out of that. I mean, it's still kind of flagging here if we zoom out some more, but the buying on this candle very late to come in after a new low down there. So technically the flag is still holding up here. But the volume is way lower than we would like to see. So I'll be on the sidelines. Now there's a 40,000 share seller, 46. KLTO. Big levels are 33 and I think 28. But that might do it. I don't know. That might do it if maybe I'll stick around for another 10, 15 minutes if we don't see anything out of these two. Because we haven't had anything else. NCPL. Yeah, I think I don't know, man. I'm thinking to call it. This setup here is definitely one to keep an eye on, though, right? I think this setup is definitely a one to keep an eye on for KNW. NCPL. We'll see if it does turn into something. Guys, by the way, the Mighty is back on YouTube. He'll do a recap today. The Mighty is back, so you guys can keep an eye out for those of you who are subscribed to Marcelo. If you're not, I can post a link. Marcelo is one of the other mentors here in our community. He'll be posting a recap today, so I'll post a link to his YouTube channel so you guys can check him out. The Mighty Stocks. The Mighty had some trouble with his channel, so he had to take down some of the videos, but most of the content is now back up. So you guys can definitely check him out. I don't know why he got the strikes. Mighty, so Mighty, aka Marcelo. Marcelo is one of the other mentors and chat room members in our community. The Mighty is also coming off a very crazy month last month of 90,000. So you guys can definitely check it out. Check out his channel. And so remember, even if Relentless Trader, even if I'm having a hard time, it doesn't mean that everyone in our community is having a hard time, right? We still have Marcelo, Triad, and then, you know, there's the Team House guys as well, you know, Tim, all these other guys. We have the students also who are doing well still, right? So, not everyone will know because they're not in the chat room. Not everyone is in the chat room. Some people just kind of hang out on the YouTube stream. But yeah, for those of you who do follow him, you know, we mentioned that his channel was a little restricted. You know, sometimes you kind of get a little too political. It can happen. Although if you're not trying to be, you know, just mentioning guys like Elon and Trump can sometimes get you restricted. Because he was swinging Tesla and some other stocks. I mean, you know, you shouldn't really get restricted for these things, but at the end of the day, sometimes people are reviewing, people are watching, and, you know, things can happen like that. So I remember back in the day, even Trump himself he would do podcasts, and those podcasts would be taken down. And if you're to watch the podcast before it's taken down, it's like just a normal conversation, you know. So if even if Trump could get a video taken down, then anybody can get a video taken down. Yeah, I'm not sure. Ross makes 90,000 in a day. Here's the real question: how much do you make in a day? That's the real question. No, I sold my Tesla thing already. I'll get back in though if I can get the right price. Or what is it at right now? I gotta check. I was a little upset. I was a little salty actually when I saw 72 was the low. When I saw 72, man, because I saw 95 and I'm like, yeah, whatever, 95, you know, and that was at 2 p.m. that day, like 2:30. And then I started typing up I was typing up this thing. I was doing something. I was typing up like an essay basically. Let's just call it that. And I'm there for like hours doing this. And then I look back in the morning and saw that the low was 72. I'm like, man, I probably should have just stayed there and just, you know, watch that sell off. So KNW did not hold the VWAP, and KLTO is still sideways at 23. But the swing trades, you can make a lot of money, man. Especially depending on how much cash you have sitting that you don't need. But you can do well on the swing trades. I had SPY as well. You know, Nvidia. I also had Nvidia. Some companies you don't really need to sell, or even SPY. It depends, right? Like Nvidia, honestly, we're probably gonna see like 170, right? Pretty soon, maybe into next year, maybe towards the end of this year. they're still having record earnings. There's no reason to even sell, honestly. But from 85 to 42, at a certain point, you start to ask yourself, how much money do you need, or how much percentage? Let's not say money, because we could keep using, no such thing as enough money. More money, better, right? But percentage wise, we're up like 50% already from those lows. So you know what? It's like, man, it's not a bad place to just take something off. Tesla from two. I mean, I was scaling it. My average wasn't so low. My average wasn't that low, but we had highs of 360s. So once you make money from small caps and day trading, and you can like build up a swing account, then you can start taking on. I also had I had United Healthcare too, but I sold that over 300. Now I'm waiting again for the next, but this time I'm telling myself like I need to be more. I want to take more size. Like I've only been going in like a fraction, not a fraction, like half. My Tesla position was kind of big. I guess I think I was in like 100,000, 100. I had like 150,000 or something. I don't know, something like that. Like in that one. But I want to go in like way more size. Like there's some guys who are like not even playing around. Like they're like they're going in the whole thing, right? But it is risky because I mean, if you're caught on the wrong side, man, you're gonna get cooked. CTXR, CTXR. The last thing is to go in and then you're down 50%, man. That that'd be tough. But it really comes down to you not needing the money, right? If it's money you don't need at all, that can sit there for a year plus, and especially if it's a good company, then you really can give it a you can give it the time it needs. So CTXR, it's moving up. 47, 43. We haven't really had a pullback here. Oh, KLTO, of course, the moment this one pulls up here. If KLTO gets halted up at 38, I mean, it definitely means business, even being here. Man, the halt is now at 42. I'm gonna trade KLTO. This other one, I mean, the way how these stocks are looking when they move up, man, it's like not even worth looking at. If this thing can continue to hold up, yeah. Coming back to the question that we asked, right? Oh man, 27 time. The candle's about to close. It's a fairly good candle, especially if we can continue to hold up here. I might add, depending. Can we see the 1 minute candle make the new high? Two eight. It's not instant. Keep watching. Okay. Not right there, I tell you. 37. It's a little slow to break out, but it definitely can get up to the halt level again. Volume is just so slow. Stock is so slow to move, rather. The volume is fine, but the stock is slow to react. It still seems like it's in this breakout zone, though. Some slippage there. The halt up is at 50. Pretty bad, Phil. Pretty bad. It's showing the volume, but we're not really seeing the push. Time 48. It might pull back a little more this time. 37. The halt is at 56. Damn it. I'm late. 59 to halt up. The halt is at 60. Might halt up here. It'll be good. We'll halt up right below a double top, and so if we resume higher, we can keep going to like 180. But that's if it locks in here, though. No shares to short in case it does pull back. So it might halt up. We'll see. It's surprisingly holding really tight, but for how long? Right. Mm, I'm kind of chasing this a little bit here. Probably should have been a little sooner. Time 52. I might re-average here. Gotta be careful though in case it does, because our candle's turning red. Yeah, it might come down. The halt down's at 36. So that's not a bad pullback, but definitely false halt down. And I got filled so high there. Watching for the red to green. Probably best not for me to be super hasty here. I'm gonna wait and see what it does. You didn't expect that 5 minute candle to like turn down like that, Thought we would have held high 40s, mid 40s, worst case. Because there was a lot of buying at 55. So there's people who seemed as if they added, like people were adding, I think, high, like really high. That's insanely high. So we'll see if it's able to recover, being that there's so much buying. Well, it's already recovered. that did not take long. I'm not even in. Man, what is this? Jesus. So decent analysis, but I didn't even, was able to jump in there. And I was watching for a retest of like 40 or 37. Ah, man. It almost doesn't feel fair right there. We really went from 45 to 64 in like 2 seconds. Those trades like that again is so, it's so tough to miss. Like, and that's kind of what this day is, even going back earlier in the day, stuff like that. You capture this, your days tripled or doubled in just like that. Boom. I blink once, the thing is up already. Hopefully some of you guys got it. Okay, so it's showing. Wait. What? It's showing 145 resumption? No, that's not what we want to see. We're over high of day. I mean, I don't know about short sellers in a stock like this, the way how it's moved. I mean, people have to be going short still, but I don't think short sellers were able to accumulate a massive position. Assuming that they did go short in this area here, let's say they're short here, a lot of them. They're probably already covered. I mean, at least I would have already covered right over the high. Even if they're adding and holding towards high of day short, let's say they're shorting against high of day because they didn't want to stop out. They have wider stops. You would think here is where they would start to cover if they're still holding. So for this thing to be showing 145 resumption, kind of doesn't really make any sense. Okay, it's coming up. So it's showing 155 now. That's better. This should be showing 170 resumption, man. Okay, it's coming up more, 159. No, you can't. You can sell, but the order will go out. It's not going to actually execute during the resumption. Okay, now we're back at 162. Now the dip and rip is looking much more attractive. The lower resumption trade could always bounce right back up, but kind of a little more unusual for this place that we're in with the stock. What it could mean is that there's a lot of sell orders that was out initially. People probably canceled orders now. People trying to buy. That's now driven the resumption price back up. Because you could have longs taking, taking profits. But this looks like it'll keep going. The volume is not as high as earlier, but the chart looks pretty good. Maybe 180, $2, we'll see. But can't afford to get caught in any, teleportations down, anything like that. $30. Don't worry, the short sellers are going to make their money when this thing just sells off back to 50 cents. They're going to be raving. 8 seconds. We're showing 164. Here we go. I'm long. Don't you dare. I almost panicked out there. Now 170 should be next if it's any good. Oh, come on. All right, I could have took my 3 cents there, but I wanted to give it that chance. That's a little choppy of a resumption. And come on. Yeah, the dip and rip should only be one trade, so I got back in there. Okay, I'm taking too many losses. Oh, man, that was such a sweet move, too. That's the ideal setup there. The first time I'm saying that I'm long. We need to see that sweet breakout. I think so far so good. All things considered, still holding up. It didn't really sell off. Just a bit of chop. It might need another dip. Time. 2 minutes in. The resistance here is kind of early too, so trade could get a little dicey if it's not quick. This dip is our last hope here. If not, it might be Titanic, brother. Oh man, I actually opened up really quickly. Oh man, I could have held that. I could have held that. I tried to sell 60. I got a terrible fill. Man, it's like having a hard time over 70 here. Oh, come on, bro. I don't know. That wasn't. I mean, the resumption itself wasn't the cleanest, but I guess it wasn't bad. Come on. The halt up is at 79. 79 to halt up. That's a little too much. It's gonna hold, but that's a little too much right there. Can we sustain this type of dip? It's right into the new candlestick. It is pretty bullish, but you know it's having a tough time, man. Having a tough time with that type of drop. 76 is 63. Quite brutal. It held, and there's another 5-minute candle here. We're about a minute in. Man, these stocks, bro. These stocks, I tell you. It does seem like it's not going to give any sort of nonsense But you never know. You got to stay tight on the foot, on the gas, quick on the feet. Okay, all right, it's coming down. All right, okay. Bit of a 5 minute pullback here early though. We've given back a little too much. Some good trades, but also some chop. And we missed that last breakout over 75. The halt down is at 50 here. If it's to halt down, it looks like it's gonna lock in. Man, that freaking dip, man. That dip went from right as I'm saying it's having trouble over 70. It goes from 67 to 62, and I'm thinking we might see more of a pullback, and it instantly is at 70, 72. Instantly. No wonder Tim was saying max tilt earlier, man. Momo Pro is in the building. Still a fan of this. Still a fan every once in a while. Yeah. Shout out to Momo Pro, man. You guys know we still got a lot of love for Momo Pro. Man, I'm in the depths here though. I'm in the depths. I got up to a nice 1K and I gave it back. Got caught in so many areas there. It was I mean, a bit close. It was a great setup though. Now pattern wise, it's perhaps more of like a cup and handle here. I think we'll see a bounce right away though, but I don't know if that bounce will sustain. Notice how the selling volume here is like pretty low. It seems like a healthy pullback, but it's also early and pretty big. 76 to 50. We haven't really had a bounce. I mean, if we go back to 1205, yeah, we can have a small bounce there, but from 68 to 50, no bounce. No bounce. Bro, if I was giving back profits every time, I would not have ever made money in the markets. It is a little unfortunate to lose up there, though, but there was opportunities to make more. I did hesitate at 62, which was a good dip. I kind of second guessed it a little bit, and it was instant. Instant into the bloodstream from 62 to 68, 72, and then 75, 76. The second pullback, not so much. Down to 50. There's 2 minutes to the resumption. Bro, I would have made 20K on this thing, bro. I know, like, it's a little slow right now. We're also not sizing up. Once we gain back our rhythm, we'll be dancing the tango and the cha-cha. Right now, our footwork is like our left ankle is broken, and we can't move as well as we want to move here. So we got to keep it small, keep it tight. Keep it small, keep it tight. If you guys are to like come in my mind and see what I see, it's like it just seems so stupid when I don't capital, especially this earlier push here. It's like I'm saying, almost every time it's a couple seconds off. I'm getting out too soon, or I'm taking the profits too quickly, whatever, not holding long enough in some other areas. Sometimes it's good to hold to the previous lows I think getting caught in the other stock for that flush out, maybe a little bit more. Hey, let's just kind of keep it tight, keep it break even, which then leads to a little bit more scalping, and then you can miss some of the trades. And then when we're going up, we're just going up. For example, 62 to 75 right there. Like there was no, if you're not in already, maybe you're chasing aggressively if you missed that 62 dip, but there is no other entry there. Like that's just 62 to 75 and just, one thing. So 13 seconds to resumption. It's showing 50. We could see more of a balance as possible. A good test of strength would be nice first here, though. Hold up, hold up. Okay, okay. Man, that's like nonsense. We didn't really come down there. We had a lot more selling, but it didn't come down. I'm kind of out there for that, but let's see, 52. Okay. Wow. I hope I got some good fills at least. Okay, it's a little bit more jumpy. Let's see if we see that new high again. Over 60. 59, not quite. How's the chart looking? The halt up would be 64. So now 66. It might be a false halt. It's trying. Okay, it looks like it'll get locked in. Yeah, so we see a quicker bounce out of that pullback. The stock is still strong. That pullback was just, it really shouldn't have happened like that. That's what this bounce is telling us. Is that pullback was way kind of crazy for the position of where the stock is. The days are coming again, though, where days like this are gonna be, because what, when you're connecting on these type of stocks and then you have the size, man, the size is what really makes a difference, right? Because if you're like a smaller trader, you're just using 1,000 shares. You might have had a nice day connecting on everything. You're up a couple $100. It's a sweet day. Maybe you're up 500 or something, right? But just imagine if because this thing is pretty thick and it's liquid. Just imagine if your share size is 10x or 20x or something. Then that day becomes insane. That 400 day, 300, whatever, can become 3,000 and then more. But you got to be accurate. You got to be in rhythm. You got to be connecting. If not, it doesn't make any sense at all. Which is why I'm not sizing up right now. Once we're seeing more consistency or more rhythm, then share size becomes nothing to use. because mentally we've already did it, right? But if you've never sized up before, there's that mental thing that you might have to go through. Some people, they've sized up to a certain level and then they don't push it anymore because they start to feel way too uncomfortable in the trades. Everyone is a little different, and then you'll have some traders who, for me, on a stock like this, I think like 50,000 would be like a real solid size, like heavy size. For another person, they're probably buying 50,000 5 times in one area, right? In a consolidation or something. And that's probably their decent size position, but the max size could be, 400,000 or 500,000 shares, 1 million shares, even, depending on the trader. 1 million shares, every penny is like 10,000. You're going to be up or down 10,000 every penny. Do you have the stomach? That's the question. Do you have the stomach? Do you have the stomach? And for me, what I have to do when it comes to like pushing myself, in a context that I'm doing well, to push myself to take even more size, I have to consciously think about putting up that number, and then the feeling, there's a sensation that I feel like your heart is beating faster, like you're a little bit more anxious about the trade. You're still trying to treat it the exact same profit target, same stop losses. Um, but you got to be careful to not lose the battle to your emotions if your size is too big. Like if it's going against you and you say, I'll give it a second, then that giving it a chance can really mean a much bigger loss. But you have to do it and try to treat the trade the same. Not the easier said than done though. For some people it's like natural, it's like easy, and then for others it definitely is. I mean, for me it's been years of sizing, right? Like years of slowly trying to. Anyhow, I'll cut the chatter. So we got 36 seconds. It's showing 167 here. High of days at 76. I'd hope we can see a new high here. I think we should. But the key is for us to get an entry. So even if it goes right away, can we see that pullback? And then the actual retest or the real move, either or. 5 seconds, no fear, no hesitation. 166. Here we go. Dip, dippity dip. The dip is not immediate. Fuck, man. Man. I hesitated there too. I would have gotten high fill, but still. Come on. Bro, that is like at the speed of light. You can't afford to hesitate. You blink and you will miss it. The halt down is kind of close. Got to be careful. I mean, the stock is bullish though, so I guess that's the good thing with that type of dip. Is I mean, it came close, but if we're not gonna halt down or rip right into the halt down, then there's a chance. We had a low of 61. Tried to sell 80, did not quite hold. Didn't quite hold. Oh, come on. What is that? How well can we hold that? We can hold that pretty well. $88, the next level, 88. 88 is the next halt up. The halt down is 58. It might need a little lower. Do we need a little lower? Because we're kind of churning here. Not really getting back above 74, 75, 76. What time is it? Dang, it's kind of late. I thought it might have been like 10:30, 11. It's already 12 o'clock. Come on, this has to be it. Over 75. Where's KB? K up to B. We should see the halt up. We should see the halt up. We need to pull back first. It might just teleport to it. Bro, come on. That's such a sweet pullback there. 7-4. I gotta be more aggressive perhaps to buy back. It's right back down. Are we able to hold? What day is today? What's today? Monday? All right, I got to go. It looks like it's halting down here, so maybe it's not a bad time. I think the stock is still strong, but I guess we'll walk away here. Yeah, I'd already sized down, by the way. I got, if I bring it up to the other screen here, I got because I'm like, okay, we can't afford to give back again. I got just a 1500 and then 3500, which is like really small size. Yeah, but I got to go. By the way, sort of people asking about the halt levels. This is exactly how I can see them. Let me pull up my drawing tools. You're not supposed to show level 2, which is why I don't show the screen here. This the halt down right here, 58, and the halt up 86. Now 56 the halt down. Let me not do that. The hotkey to erase this and the hotkey to buy is the same hotkey, so best I use this eraser here. All right, I think I'm gonna go. I got to go. I got no choice but to go here. All right, take care, stay safe, stay green. Hit the thumbs up. Tomorrow again. Small green day. Well, good green day here for the small size especially. We'll take it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. But yeah, definitely, when we're back in our good flow, you can expect a 10 to 15K day on this stock here. Mark my words. Don't worry. I still have the muscle memory. We just got to continue to get back in sync. catch you guys later. Stay safe, stay green. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe. Tomorrow we'll start at 7 a.m. With small size for the pre-market session. Only small size, not sizing up too aggressively. I think max size I might go is like 600-700 shares. Small size will be about 100 shares. Maybe I do mid size as well, like 200-300 shares. But the goal for me is just to kind of keep gaining rhythm, and not I'm not really concerned yet about making the money yet, right? The rhythm and then the money will come just off of that alone. That's kind of how it goes. But yeah, take care, stay safe, stay green, hit a thumbs up, and tomorrow, 7 a.m.